And welcome to another episode of the Football Smack Talk Show. I am your host, Ryan.
I'm Eric.
Welcome, everybody, to the end of the season edition of the Football Smack Talk Show. The 2020 NFL season for the Philadelphia Eagles is officially over, finishing with just an ugly, what was it, 4-11-1 record. And finishing in the basement of the NFC East, which was a complete dumpster fire. So there's that.
Yeah, in the worst division maybe in the history of the league, the Eagles finished last.
Yes. Yeah.
And that puts some perspective. That puts things in kind of perspective where this franchise is right now.
No, fully agree. So we're going to talk about last night's game. We sadly had to wait all the way to the last game of the season to see us just lose in an embarrassing way. And I'll just start with the question, did Doug and did the Eagles lose on purpose?
I don't see how you could say that they didn't. I mean, there's no way you can tell me with a straight face that Nate Sudfeld in the fourth quarter gave you a better chance to win than Jalen Hurts being out there. Going for on a 4th and 4 when you could have tied the game with a field goal, like down at the goal, like there's no way that that's coaching to win the game. Like it just isn't. And so yeah, they tanked on purpose. The coaching strategy was on purpose.
Do you have a problem with that?
No. Now, I understand if the 53 guys in that locker room do have a problem with it. Because I'll tell you what, if I was a player and I'd look at that and I'd say, why the hell did I come to meetings all week? Why did I bust my butt in practice every day if this was going to be the decision that we were going to basically coach to lose?
Well, yeah, I mean that's certainly a fair point. Um, I would certainly feel a little upset about it myself.
Hmm?
I'm sure some of the veteran guys were probably not all that happy. But when asked about it, he said he was still trying to win, and
Well, of course, he says that.
right, obviously, and he said, "Oh, Nate's a vet in this league, and I wanted to get him some snaps, and I still thought we were, in position to win." I'm with you. I think if you're truly trying to win, you're not putting Nate Sudfeld in that game. And again, I'm with you. I'm very okay with getting
Yeah.
the 6th pick rather than the 9th pick.
But that says to me two things from Doug Peterson. One, he knew no matter what happened, his job was safe. And two, he also, I feel like that was almost a statement of like, he's got his mind made up about Jalen Hurts. Because otherwise, you want to see as much of Jalen Hurts as you can.
Sure. And also, I think it says that he wasn't fearful for his job.
Right.
Because obviously, if you're even remotely on the hot seat,
you got to try to win that game. Yeah.
Right. You want to give them a lasting impression before your end of season meetings with Jeff Lurie and Howie Roseman.
Sure.
That you're the guy moving forward. So I truly believe we have nothing. Doug have nothing to worry about during that game. Probably got some sort of reassurance from the team that says like, hey, listen, you're our guy. Go out there and do what you got to do.
Well, a lot of reports have said that he doesn't make a lot of these decisions, like that he's told who the 53 men are. Yeah. And so I would not be surprised, or the 45, excuse me, that dress every Sunday. I would not be surprised if there was discussions in which Doug said to Howie and company, hey, like this is going to be I think in the fourth quarter, I'm probably going to take Hurts out and put it in Nate Sudfeld, regardless of the score. And I think he got okayed on that.
Yeah,
I mean, he got rubber stamped on that decision.
I mean, that's true. You never know. Maybe it even came from Howie.
Sure, that may not even been his call.
Hey, listen, keep it close, but make sure that we get that 6th pick. That's very possible. We'll obviously never know that.
And they can't come out and say that.
They obviously can't come out and say something, right? Yeah.
If they did, they would lose that 6th pick.
Yeah, they would. It was kind of an ugly game. To be perfectly honest, I was back and forth. I was kind of doing stuff. I just almost had it on for background noise and flip flop channels and stuff. Believe me, I'll probably go back and watch the quick condensed version.
I wonder if I'm one of the true Eagles that they actually sat there, beverage in hand, and like was just dialed in to each play, because I really wanted to get a full view. And
I'm just over the season. I think a lot of fans.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, I don't blame you one bit.
Yeah. So. Hey, if you guys out there, did you watch the whole game? Did you flip back and forth? Did you walk away a little bit? Maybe you had a little, you were doing something. I don't know, you just kind of had it in the background. I don't know.
Because you got a big weekend coming up this weekend of playoff football. 2 triple headers. You might have to score some brownie points with the wife, maybe do something, and kind of have it on. Be like, hey, I still got it on, so I'm like, I can say I watched it, but like, right. Really, I was doing something else.
Right. That's funny. Season's over, and we'll go over later in the show, specifically position group by position group, player by player, and basically we'll go through and see who we think should stay, who we think should go. Mm-hmm. Early edition, obviously, things certainly can change. Hey, Cheryl, long time no talk. How are you?
Hey, Cheryl. Good to see you.
So we'll go over that. But let's talk a little bit about today's press conferences. Doug, Howie, a few players. One of them not being Carson Wentz for the first time ever, the end of season, presser. He declined to speak to the media. Take that for whatever that's worth. But Doug and Howie basically sounded like a bunch of morons.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They sounded terrible. They sounded, like they tried to rehearse their answers, and they just ended up sounding like idiots. Howie, I think, called Carson Wentz a finger.
Yeah.
You don't want to cut
that
off.
Was weird. I mean, true, but
I mean, you're right. You're right. If that's the analogy you want to go, I mean, Howie's always had some weird analogy, pretty much, every season. The vanilla and chocolate, yada yada.
Pepperoni and sausage.
Pepperoni and sausage. Yeah. Right? He's a weird little dude. But Doug obviously was asked pretty point blank about some of the moves he made and taking out Sudfeld, and obviously we weren't going to get anything, real answer, but
no,
the answers we got were pretty bad. I'm not going to lie, we're pretty bad. I will say the one I was most intrigued about was the Zach Ertz press conference. I don't know if you got a chance to see the full thing, but
I didn't. But
he asked it, general typical things. Talked about he stayed on the field after the game. He was talking with Kelsey and Wentz at like 1 a.m, still like hanging out on the bench. And there's a lot of speculation that he just played his last game as an Eagle, and he got emotional there at the end. And I think all the questions were kind of very similar into the reflection on his time here. So we got a little emotional, and it was a little heartbreaking because as much as Zach Ertz kind of has had an up and down relationship with the Eagles fans. He first came here, he was behind Selleck, he was this highly touted tight end, and just first couple seasons didn't really put it together, and we were all kind of waiting for him to blow up. He never really did.
He blew up. Yeah,
and he finally did. It took him a couple seasons. Then he blew up, had quite a few successful years, and obviously this year some injuries, some major injuries for the first time in his career slowed him down. Take whatever the lack of off season into effect there as well. I mean, obviously he just didn't have a great season.
And he's not alone there. A lot of guys didn't have a good season, and I almost wonder if his bad season had any direct correlation to Carson Wentz's bad season.
Well, I mean, he was kind of the security blanket for Wentz for a lot of years, so I can certainly see that as a possibility. It was a little emotional for him, and it was kind of heartbreaking, honestly, because I truly believe we have seen his last play as an Eagle.
Yeah, all indications seem to look that way. And Howie, in some of what he said, if you read between the lines, kind of indicated that. Talking about how after 2017, their attitude was kind of a run-it-back approach in 2018. And that, learning from that experience and knowing that, like, sometimes you can't afford to be a fan, in his job. And to me, I read right into that there is very little chance, if any chance at all, that Zach Ertz is back with the Eagles next year.
Yeah, I mean, considering, how he has been hit over the head with some of his choices to give people contracts based on past play, and Alshon Jeffrey is a perfect example of that. And speaking of, he and Malik Jackson's contracts were reworked, and then ending up saving the Eagles about $23 million. All indications that this is going to lead to a March cut.
Right.
I mean, again, they certainly can keep them, but I think given the money that they're owed, I think this was a great way to save a little money before you end up cutting them and taking kind of the full hit.
Yeah, it was a way to defer the cap hits for both guys.
Right. So speaking of the cap, with those moves, I believe the most updated figure I've had based on the 175 salary cap, they're still 50 over, even with this. So,
Right.
um, and also factoring in the rollover. So
Yeah.
it's not great. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get rid of 50 million. Um, I just don't see how they're going to do that. We certainly can go over the salary of every player and kind of determine what the hit might be, but I just don't see it happening without some major changes. So
Right. And they've kind of indicated, in that press conference today that it could be a, new look Eagles team that takes the field in September.
oh yeah, I mean you think about it, Alshon, Malik Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun probably out. You have Derek Barnett making $10 million.
Yeah.
You
And
can cut / trade him and save all that 10. Um,
right.
there's a couple other guys that are making a lot of money that you may have to make a decision on that you're going to need to get under this cap somehow. So, um, I just don't see it happening without some major changes. And considering you're also, adding in, early pick, so it's a little bit more money. You
Sure.
have draft, cap kind of allocated already. So, yeah, it's not going to be pretty, folks. So we're in for a rough off season, and I think the first major decision is Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and look, I think what it all comes down to again is like you just talked about being $50 million over the cap right now. Like any kind of trade or release, like man, that kills you. That
Yeah.
kills you cap wise. Like
Oh, yeah, 1,000% does. So, yeah, there's some big names that we might not see in Eagle Green next year, and
yeah,
Carson Wentz is certainly one that's going to have to get figured out. Now, everybody's saying the right things, and there have been reports, that have been coming out mostly by ESPN, I'll say, and reported to you from NSN Philly on Facebook, um, that Carson obviously not happy about being backup, but again,
who would be? Yeah,
right? And actually, it's funny. Zach Ertz addressed that, and he said something to the effect of, "Oh yeah, I don't want to be a backup tight end. Like, who wants to be a backup?"
right on.
Right.
I agree.
Right
Yeah,
answer, right. So yeah, everybody's saying the right things behind the scenes. People are reporting or speculating. I would probably more call it, or maybe even some agent agenda, if you will,
mm,
about some Carson Wentz things. Nothing, no official quote or anything like that. Nothing
yeah.
coming from Carson. More of the speculative nature. But it's something that's going to get talked about until a decision is made.
I almost wonder, and now this is me just kind of thinking aloud here, is like, was that something that maybe the Eagles wanted leaked on game day when they knew the rest of the NFL would be watching to kind of say, you know what? Hey, rest of the league, we're open for business.
I mean, anything's possible. Honestly, if you told me, any of those options, I'd believe it
Right.
because people are constantly playing games. People are constantly sending,
Yeah,
information
we're
out there,
rapidly approaching
misinformation.
the season of misinformation. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. David Dix says Eagles sold out. They are a wreck. Yeah, man, well
Well,
said.
yeah.
They're a little bit of a
All
wreck.
due respect to Rex.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that's the first thing that needs to get figured out, um, and we'll kind of go from there. But I did want to talk now that we have the sixth pick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about a few options that we have.
Yeah.
Um, I would assume that Trevor Lawrence is going to go number one.
Sure.
I feel like the Jets are always a wild card.
Yeah.
And they could go quarterback, Justin Fields or the kid from BYU, certainly.
Sure.
but let's just say that they go QB.
Okay.
So two QBs off the board, right?
Mhm.
And so that leaves the third pick, fourth, and fifth before us. So
Sure.
basically, after the
I know
quarterbacks,
third is Miami by virtue of the trade with Houston.
right? And fourth is Atlanta, fifth is Cincinnati.
Right.
So maybe Atlanta might go QB as well. You know, Matt Ryan certainly.
I'm all about encouraging teams to go QB right now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That only helps us with our options.
Yes.
So let's just play devil's advocate and say, you know, they'll go regular. I would assume in those top three, somebody's going to go with Sewell, the kid from Oregon, the left tackle from Oregon. Let's even call that Cincinnati.
That would make a lot of sense to Cincinnati.
Make a lot of sense, right? So let's take him out of the mix. So now there's two other teams that pick in front of us, and you know some of the names out there: Michael Parsons, linebacker, Penn State.
Yep, Micah Parsons. Yeah.
Yep. You also have Patrick Surtain, corner from Alabama.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you know that's the guy I'm kind of hoping for.
Sure. You have wide receivers Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Devonta Smith. You know, I'm sure there's some outside, you know, names that could, you know.
Yeah, but I think you hit on the one.
But I think those are, as of right now, those are probably the top names. So basically, you know, you have, I just named 5 people.
Yeah.
And 2 more spots that pick in front of us. So even if both of them go wide receiver, you can basically have either a linebacker, a corner, or wide receiver.
Or that third choice of wide receiver.
Right.
And look, and I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them.
I agree.
Really well, but
I agree. Obviously, I think right now it's neck and neck between Chase and Smith for me. Only because Waddle was a little banged up, and Smith certainly stepped up, especially in the semifinal. So I'm perfectly happy with either one of them. No, we all know what my choice is.
Well, yeah.
All
just
know
like
what my
choice is. And you want Micah Parsons.
Yes. I definitely want the linebacker. Now, if you tell me we're getting Surtain, I'd be real happy as well. I will say this, though. There are a couple second-round corners that I'm really liking.
Right, which is why I'd be okay with one of the wide receivers in the first round.
But I'd be real okay with Slay and Surtain.
Right? All of a sudden, good luck throwing in that second. All of a sudden, you take a position of weakness, and it was a big position of weakness, and turned it into a big strength. Absolutely.
Yeah. David suggests, do you see any team trading big time for Jags' first pick in the draft? Sure. I definitely think they'll
sure, like a lot of teams would like to.
Same with the Jets. You know, I would hope that the Jaguars stay put. You know, considering that they worked so hard to get the first pick. But and I think that Trevor Lawrence is well above, you know, Wilson or Fields. That they'd be dumb to trade out of that, considering that, you know, you had your fun with Gardner Minshew, but he's never going to take you anywhere.
Yeah.
He's never going to do anything. And, you know, you have a couple of decent wide receivers. Chark certainly blew up this year. You know, you have a few building blocks defensively. And yeah, you have some picks coming to you from the Rams for the Jalen Ramsey trade.
Sure.
So you could really help out your team if you're getting a stud quarterback and, you know, picking up another need. I think their next pick is like in the mid to high teens. So Jags would be dumb to do it. Jets, I feel like, would be smart to trade back.
Absolutely, especially if they're not, if whoever they get to coach them, and it says that they really want to keep Sam Darnold. And
I don't know if they should necessarily give up on Sam Darnold. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback.
Yeah,
I think he could he could be a top 15 quarterback
Mhm.
if coached properly. So, take that with a grain of salt, I suppose. So they could go many different places. But I would say for them to trade back. Now, speaking of trading,
Right.
there is a scenario, let's call it, right now where maybe let's just say Eagles aren't sold on Jalen Hurts. Maybe they're not sold on Carson Wentz.
Mhm.
And they know they could potentially get something for one of them. Get a little draft capital, if you will.
Mhm.
Keep one just to kind of
Sure.
play the next year, and then maybe they trade up for a quarterback or sit there and take a quarterback, depending on how the draft kind of goes. So,
How about the other kid from North Dakota?
well, I was going to say, yeah, there's that trade back. Can you imagine trade back and draft Carson Wentz's, not his teammate, obviously, but from the same school,
Yeah.
Trey Lance. That would be
Yeah.
wild.
That would be hilarious.
Now, I obviously am not in favor of this,
Not me either.
unless in your salary dump, let's call it. You trade Wentz and insert whatever another big name person you may have to get rid of.
We'll say Johnson. Let's just say.
Yeah, sure. And another pick, and you can get that second pick somehow.
Mm-hmm.
The Wentz players, picks, whatever. And you can, again, this obviously isn't Madden, but, there's a will, there's a way. And
they
somehow
were sitting at 13 and then traded up to 11.
Right, exactly. So
or up to 11, moved up to 8, and then.
Yeah, I think it was 13, 8, then 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, crazier things have happened, obviously. Mm-hmm. And say you can get that 2 and 6. And you say, okay, Justin Field, welcome to the Eagles. And then with the 6th pick, okay, welcome, Micah Parsons, Patrick Surtain, whoever. Or you go all offense and you say Devonta Smith. Let's go quarterback. Let's go wide receiver.
Yeah, get our quarterback, get him a go-to target. Yeah.
Right. And, knowing that you're probably going to suck for another year or two, given your cap problems.
Mm-hmm.
And by 2022 season,
mm-hmm.
you may be in a position to go get some free agents to kind of fill in your team. And, you're not in, complete and utter breakdown mode, 5-10 years.
Right. And look, something like that, I think, is the only way that this isn't like a 3-year rebuild if you get rid of Carson.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that keeps it from being a total rebuild is if you keep Carson and then all of a sudden the light switch goes back off on him.
Yeah, that's the one option we certainly would love. I
still say that's the best way to bet.
I mean, you're right. So maybe somebody sees something in Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Maybe that can get you, a 2nd round pick. And maybe you can, package up 2 2nd round picks, a player that you're trying to, dump salary and move into the 1st round. And again, try to get more impact players.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously you have to hit on those, but.
Well, and that's the key thing. Who's going to be making these decisions? And they kind of brushed over the John Dorsey being added to the staff.
Yeah, that was kind of a quiet thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah, you wonder about how much impact. Supposedly there was such divide in the room when they were making their pick of Jalen Hurts that how he shrunk the room. And I have a feeling what he did was just said, oh, okay, you guys aren't in favor of the move, so get the heck out.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Just looking at this latest mock draft from SB Nation, it has Sewell going number 2 to the Jets.
Yeah, I saw that.
Devonta Smith going number 3 to the Dolphins. That would be nuts. Obviously Tua being there, you get an Alabama wide receiver. That's pretty good. Fields to the Falcons, as I said earlier, that the Atlanta Falcons may be looking for a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Jamar Chase to the Cincinnati Bengals, although I don't necessarily love that because they have some decent wide receivers, even if AJ Green isn't going to be there.
Yeah, sure. They still have
Eagles grabbing Mike Parsons. I love it.
Not going to happen because the Eagles.
You're right. It's not going to happen because I want it to happen so bad.
Right.
Now, David asks, what do you think Dallas is going to do draft-wise? Know what?
They got to be looking defense.
Well, I would hope. I think they have the 10th pick.
Yeah.
I can see them certainly going, somebody like a Caleb Farley, which they suggest in this mock draft, corner from Virginia Tech. He seems to be the next, the next corner after Surtain, or could even you could even argue that he would beat out Surtain. Again, depending on your preferences. So
yeah, and we're so early on in this process. Like,
this
Senior Bowl, like at the end of Senior Bowl's at the end of January, right?
Yeah.
And so then, assuming that all goes as planned, and then the combine, I don't know how that's going to work this year, if they've even thought about it.
I was going to say, I'm sure I'm sure they'll come out relatively soon and kind of let the off-season schedule, with everything with COVID and whatnot.
I feel like that's going to be something he's probably going to, like Goodell's probably going to address Super Bowl week.
Yeah, it's very possible. So, as far as Dallas, I could see them going pretty much anything defense. Whether it's on the line, probably not a linebacker, but then again, there's not really one that I think I would draft towards the top 10. Maybe offensive
unless
line
were to fall, which I don't.
Yeah, maybe offensive line, just because you've been hit hard with injuries and retirements and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dallas could certainly come out of here with a decent player as well. So it's just I just really hope that.
And if you think about it, Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants, like they should all come away with some pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean they're all top.
Here's the Giants pick.
Giants are 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they should all, top 3 of your division is in the top 11. That's gross. We'll obviously kind of have a draft special as we do pretty much every year.
I'm sure we'll have our first off-season roundtable. We'll have to start planning that.
Yeah.
Actually, when we were texting earlier, I was going to ask you if you had any thoughts as to when and how you wanted to do that this year.
I think we'll try to put it as close to the start of free agency. Kind of do again our free agency preview, our draft preview, and then kind of a training camp preview.
Yeah, maybe like a late February, early March. Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. But right now, what I want to do is I want to go player by player, position by position, and let's talk about who stays, who goes, and we can kind of do this multiple times throughout the season. But
let's start with the juicy one first.
Yeah, let's start with the quarterbacks. Plain and simple, there are 3 quarterbacks on this roster.
Mm-hmm. I do believe one of them will go.
You do?
Yes, one of the 3.
Have you made your mind up about who you think is going to stay and who's going to go?
You're going to hate my answer because the one that's going of the 3 is Nate Sudfeld and Jalen. Well, I think they're going to battle it out in camp.
Yeah, Nate Sudfeld is a free agent. So.
Right, and that's why, I don't believe they have any desire to bring him back.
Okay. Okay.
Because last night showed it for you. I mean, Doug said he wanted to see him. He's been in the league for a little while now. It was basically, hey, if we were to part ways with
5 years.
either Wentz or Hurts, would he be a viable backup? And I think last night he saw very loud and clear, no, not at all.
Okay, so you're saying Nate Sudfeld gone.
Yes.
I can see that for sure. I can see that. But then again, Nate Sudfeld has been the number 3 for a while, been holding that clipboard so much he's got some splinters. I could easily see him signing for, that deal, because what other team's going to sign him? I think his football career is over if he's not with the Eagles.
You might be right. But I almost wonder, are the Eagles even going to offer it to him?
I don't know. I'll go with you.
Okay.
And I'll say he goes. And you think Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts will both be on this roster?
Yes, I do.
Come the start of the season.
Yep, that's my bold prediction. As of right now, let's mark it down. What's today's date? January
4th.
4th? Yeah, January 4th. I'm saying Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts will both be on this roster in September.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
Can you lean a little bit to your right? Oh, okay. Sorry. I just thought I saw something behind you that was okay, never mind.
Okay.
All right. That's a bold prediction.
I've got a ghost in my apartment now, I guess.
What?
I've got a ghost here now. Awesome.
No. You're fine. You can lean back if you want.
Okay.
I will say that Jalen Hurts will be on this team and Carson Wentz will not. That's my bold prediction.
Okay.
Something just tells me there's money to get rid of. He's the biggest one. And you just basically commit to sucking for a year or two because of the dead money.
Boy, I'm so glad next year's season tickets are free for me then.
Yeah, well. Well, then, since they're free for you, you can help pay for mine. So that's my bold prediction. I think the Eagles are going to realize they have no other choice but to trade Carson Wentz, get as much as possible so that you can take that money off the books and start fresh in a year or two. So, all right, moving on to the running backs.
Well, before we move on, I just want to answer David's question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see we had something there.
Yeah, he just put it on. Do you feel the Eagles have their quarterback of the future? I guess it's clear. I do. You don't.
Yeah, because I don't think Hurts is it either. So I think Hurts is going to be, stopgap quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Use him for a year or two more, and hopefully find a franchise guy somewhere. I don't know where that's gonna happen.
Yeah, they don't fall off trees, so I wouldn't give up what you got.
I mean, listen, I want to be wrong. I would rather Carson be here. So anyway, all right,
yeah,
running backs. I think we can all agree that Miles Sanders will obviously be here.
Yeah.
I truly believe. Well, let's see the official. So the official rostered running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with Boston Scott.
I think Boston will still be here.
Okay. I want to see. Let's see. Is Boston Scott? Yeah, Boston Scott's a free agent or a restricted free agent. Granted.
Yeah, he might garner some attention. He can play.
What the heck is going on? Yes, I agree. I just don't think he's going to be with the Eagles next year.
Okay.
I think, again, they don't really have a lot of room to re-signing many people either.
Sure.
They're just going to try to patch work most positions. Because, like you said, I think he could garner a little bit of scratch.
Yeah, not a ton, but
not a ton at all. But
I think a lot of teams will look at him and be like, "Oh, he could be our second running back."
Right. So, Next on the list is Adrian Killens Jr., technically on the practice squad. I would assume not going to be on the roster.
I would assume not in the 53, yeah.
Jason Huntley, who got a little playing time last night.
I mean, like you said, it's going to be so hard to add guys. I could see him still being on the roster as a dude, like he's a guy.
Yeah, as a guy. Agree. Jordan Howard.
Nah, probably not.
I would assume so. Howard is probably going to want some sort of money.
He's going to want, like you said, some real money. Yeah.
Although did they sign him to? Just a 1-year deal?
I think so.
Because I'm not showing him on the official list of free agents. I'll have to look into that. I would agree. I think that's an easy one to kind of let go, or not re-sign if that, as the case was. David, will Elliott be trade bait this year for the Cowboys? Eagles? Question mark. Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, his play is certainly declining. I would think his value is lower. He's got that big contract. I don't really think it would garner a lot of interest. Yeah, it's probably going to be hard for them to trade him. I think it's more or less of fixing that offensive line so that he can kind of return to form, because he is a very skilled running back. It's just, when you're heavily relied on and your offensive line is kind of in shambles as it was with ours, I think there's a tendency to where your production is going to dip. So I think that's all it really is. All right, let's see. Elijah Holyfield, everyone's favorite practice squatter.
Can I just do it here? Can just one time? Boom, gone.
Gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Corey Clement, who is somehow been in the league for 4 years.
Yeah, and he's been injured for 2 of them.
Yes, he has.
I mean, look, I would love to keep him just for the sentimentality of, the 100 yards receiving and a huge touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the sentimentality is what got us.
What got us here, and that's why you can't do it. And I almost feel like that maybe was a direct message when Howie talked about that towards
perhaps
Clement.
Perhaps, yeah, but no, he's absolutely gone.
Yeah.
So there's your running backs. So basically, we have Miles Sanders coming back. I think you said you wanted thought Scott could be back.
That's I didn't.
I basically got rid of everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Miles Sanders, and we got to figure out the rest.
Oh no, we said Jason Huntley would still be on the roster.
Oh yeah. Okay.
As a body.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go. Glad we got that figured out.
Miles Sanders very relieved that we're letting Huntley stay.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, wide receivers. Let's start with Quez Watkins.
Oh yeah, he'll still be here. He's under his rookie deal. Yeah.
Same. Greg Ward, your boy.
That's my boy. I think he'll still be here. What's his contract status?
He is a exclusive rights free agent. So I would assume that he'll be back.
Yeah.
Considering he's the leading wide receiver over the last 2 years.
Yeah, you got to bring him back, I think.
Right. Khalil Tate, I didn't realize was on the active roster.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. So I think that tells you where my vote is.
Yeah, gone. Jalen Reagor obviously staying.
Yeah.
Alshon Jeffrey. Deshaun Jackson. Jonathan Hightower should stay.
Yeah.
Fulgham should stay.
Mm-hmm.
Deontay Burnett. Well, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And our favorite player, JJ, our Thega Whiteside.
Can you blur out my middle finger?
No, but you could just do it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're basically keeping Fulgham, Hightower, Rager, Ward, and Watkins.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. I can certainly. Yeah, Ward and Watkins. That's right. Okay, so that was simple enough. I think those are pretty standard.
Yeah.
This one's going to be a tough one. Tight ends. Let's start with not any of the big names and go with Caleb Wilson.
What's his contract status?
Doesn't show on the list of free agents, but
yeah, the only reason I'm thinking that you might keep him is as a body and
Richard Rodgers. He is a pending free agent.
Yeah, which is why he'll probably go, and that's why I said you probably keep Caleb.
Right. Josh Perkins, also a pending free agent.
Yeah, he probably is allowed to leave. Yeah.
Yep. Bye bye. Let's go with Jason Kroom, who I believe is a free agent. Yep. So bye bye. Hakeem Butler on the practice squad. I can certainly see him returning to the.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, in that role.
I don't see why you would go out of your way to. Back.
No reason to be a jerk and be like, "Hey, get out of here."
Because again, there's not much going on.
Right.
Dallas Goedert obviously is staying. And here's the big one, saving the best for last. Mr. Zachary Ertz.
I can't get myself to do the wave, but yeah.
No, the wave is disrespectful.
Yeah. The wave is meant for people who I want.
Right.
Zach Ertz, I love him. Like, to me, when he comes back as a player on the other team, he gets an ovation.
Yeah. I think it's Zach Ertz's last game was yesterday. Sad.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's move on before we get sentimental.
Yeah.
Offensive line. Let's start with the guards. We have Isaac Seumalo.
I mean, I would assume he'll be back.
Yes, I would as well. I don't think. Yeah, the only offensive lineman I see that's technically a free agent is Jason Peters. So let's just talk about Jason Peters. Oh, that's a little disrespectful, but.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And my reasoning.
I will salute and say goodbye.
My reason is because of the way he kind of held the team hostage.
I know what the reason is. Okay. I know what it is.
Otherwise, he would have gotten a salute.
All right, Matt Pryor.
And you said he's not a pending free agent among them, so I'll just say Matt Pryor comes back.
Probably because more depth is better than no depth. Suopeda, same thing. I feel.
Yeah.
Played good at times when he was thrust in there.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Herbig, again, same thing. I think he'll.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably going to be across the board.
Brandon Brooks.
I really hope he is back, and I hope he's back as the Brandon Brooks that he was before he got injured.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if he is, that solves some big problems.
Yes, it does. Okay, let me see. I just lost my spot. Let's talk about Ross Pierschmager.
Good guy. Yeah, probably going.
Luke Jariga.
Oh, good guy.
But I assume he'll still be here.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's move on to Jason Kelsey.
He's a curious one because I wonder if he might retire.
So, what's your decision?
I would like to keep him. If he's not retiring, then I want him back.
Okay. Same. Let's go to. Oh, I just had it. Sorry. It's getting away from me.
We're off the rails.
Yeah, where the heck did the tackles go? Just had the tackles. There we go. Jordan Mailata.
Oh yeah, he's got to be back. He's earned a chance. He's earned a chance to compete for a starting job. He might be your starting left tackle next year.
Andre Dillard.
He's back only because it's going to cost you too much to get rid of him, he's a rookie. And I say you let him and Mailata compete for that left tackle. Great. The other one you may be asked to move into guard, could be asked to play right tackle, depending on, I'm sure, the next guy you're asking about.
Lane Johnson.
Because of the situation they're in with the cap, I'm gonna have to do the old.
Oh wow! You think they're gonna trade away Lane Johnson?
I do.
Okay, I'm gonna say he stays.
I want you to be right. Let's just be clear on that.
Yeah, no, agree. Jack Driscoll.
I would assume, we've been saying about a few guys because he's not a free agent. That I would assume he'll be back.
Yeah, agreed. I think he's played well enough in time. Let's see. I think that's it for. Casey Tucker. I don't think the dude has a name or a number. He's on the practice squad allegedly.
I guess I'll keep him there.
Sure. And Prince Tega Wanago.
Sure. Again, he was he drafted last year?
Yeah, he was a rookie.
Yeah,
rookie out of Auburn.
And, then I would assume we can give him another chance.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So there is your offensive line. Let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball.
This gets curious too.
Defensive ends here. Let's go with Jannard Avery.
I mean, I don't really have any strong feeling. I'll just say probably gone.
Okay. I think
don't hate him.
You can save a few $1 million by getting rid of.
Right.
What about Vinny Curry? 33 years old. Vinny Curry.
Okay. Yeah.
Derek Barnett.
See, I'm kind of in between on whether I want to do the salute or the wave because, I mean, you know what? Because of the play he made in the Super Bowl, recovering the fumble, I can't do the wave. So I'll just salute.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna want to get under this cap, his $10 million
exactly
with no dead money is probably going to be pretty crucial.
That's going to be the easiest way to help. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see them trading him away. BG.
Ooh. Again, that's another one. He could be a cap casualty, and I would have to. He's the other end of that.
So you're saying he's another cap casualty?
Yeah.
You just got rid of both your starting defensive end and your backup defensive ends.
Yeah.
You basically got rid of all of your defensive ends there.
And that was one of your biggest strengths. I know. You're going to have to build it back up.
You got rid of every one of them, with the exception of Joe Ostman and Matt Leo.
Welcome to the starting lineup, gentlemen.
Who are, on the reserve list. Let's see if there's any other defensive ends here I see.
Well, look, I think one of them.
Josh Sweat, obviously.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah, he's staying.
I knew there was somebody. Yeah.
He's
a starting defensive end.
All right. I mean, I'm okay with that, honestly. All right, so you have one defensive end. Great. Super. Let's go to the D tackles. Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox got to be back next year.
Yeah, got to be back. He makes a lot of money, but when he may not, have his name called a lot, but when he's not out there, my God, his absence felt.
Yeah,
like it's night and day. Javon Hargrave.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah, I think just money wise, you paid him way too much money and can't do anything. Hopefully, they restructure. Yeah. Malik Jackson.
I think he's going to be a cap casualty, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ty McGill.
Yeah, sure.
You haven't done nothing for us, bro. Let's see. Raekwon Williams.
Is he a free agent?
I don't know who he is.
I don't know who he is either. I wanted to try to hide that somehow.
Yeah, let's just say goodbye.
Yeah, see you, bud.
Hassan Ridgeway, pending free agent. Yeah, agreed. All right, let's see. Anybody did I forget from the defense? tackles. It was weird. They have like them all split up depending on whether they're on like the reserve or future list or practice squad or injured reserve. I don't know. Trayvon Hester.
I mean, he's a good special teams guy. If he's not a pending free agent, I'd say keep him.
Yeah, same. Let's see. I think that is that's it for the defensive line. Oh boy, going to the linebackers, y'all. There we go.
Get the wave band ready.
All right, let's go with TJ Edwards.
I'd like to bring him back unless he's like, I don't know what his contract situation is. You have to alert me if they're free agent.
Contract free agent linebackers: Nate Geary, Duke Riley. That's it for pending free agent.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think there's any pending free agent that I would go out of my way to try and bring back.
Oh, actually, my mistake. There is one that I would.
Okay.
Alex Singleton.
Okay, yeah.
Gotta bring him back. Thought he played well. And especially
tackles. Yeah.
If we can get a top tier like a Micah Parsons, I would love Singleton as the 2.
Yeah, Singleton paired up with Parsons. That would be a nice. All of a sudden, again, taking a position of weakness, turning it into a position of strength.
All right. Joe Bacci, rookie. Probably only signed a 1-year deal anyway. So
yeah. Bye-bye.
Rashad Smith, rookie again.
Yeah.
Boy. Let's see. Is there any other that I forgot? Sean Bradley.
Yeah, he should be back. Yeah.
Stay.
Templeton.
Davion Taylor.
I would assume, again, if they're not pending free agents, no reason to make a decision on any of them yet. Nobody's good enough to say, like, just let them fight it out in camp.
Right, so basically, we're keeping the rookies and Singleton.
Yeah.
And hopefully drafting Parsons.
Or at least drafting somebody in the first couple rounds.
Oh, God willing. All right, defensive backs. Let's start with some corners. The oft talked about in most recent weeks, Michael Jacquet. Yeah, dude. You had like 3 seconds of a good game, and then you sucked after. So
yeah,
bye. Darius Slay. Obviously.
Oh yeah. Slay stay.
Slay day stay.
Yeah.
Braylon Arnold. I mean, he's a rookie, but like, I mean, they probably just keep him because he's a cheap body.
Yeah. He might be one of those guys who, like, he makes the 90-man but doesn't make the 53.
Possible. Elijah Riley. Bye. Yeah, you were god awful. Let's see. What else do we have? Lavert Hill.
Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Jameson Houston.
I would assume he's a pending free agent, right?
He's a rookie. Could have been on just a kind of a 1 year.
1 year. Yeah, I mean, look, if he's still in the contract, I'll let him compete.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, I'd say bye.
Notoriety Sports, what's going on? Sports with a Z, so you know it's good. Sertan with Slay, though. Yeah, we had talked about that.
Yes. Yes.
Man,
sign me up for that.
Yeah, I believe if my dream of having a linebacker when it ultimately gets crushed, and I'm a little saddened by that.
You'll be okay with my dream coming true?
Mine, yeah, I'm okay with your dream coming true.
Yeah.
Sertan's definitely my next player kind of on the board there. That would be beyond fucking awesome. So, all right, where was I?
Defensive backs now.
Just kept Houston on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Craig James.
Bitch. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, dude. Avonte Maddox.
I would assume he's.
I would assume he'd stay.
Yeah, but I'd like to move him to the slot.
I would like to see what he has under another defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm very curious about. Kevon Seymour.
I mean, yeah.
He didn't really do much.
Do we really have to talk about it?
Yeah. I feel like I just missed somebody. Pending free agent, Nickel Robbie Coleman. Yeah. I for as highly touted as
he's been a mitigated disaster.
Now again, I wouldn't considering how cheap we were kind of able to get him, and under new D coordinator, I'd be curious, but only if you could get him on the mad cheap.
Yeah, even cheaper than what he got.
Because he sucked, and you could give him, be like, hey, listen, you weren't great last year, but we'll give you another shot. We'll give you a nice cheap prove it deal, and you come out here, ball out, and you go wherever the hell else you want, and get your money.
Right.
That's the only way I see him staying. And then I would say, who is the other? I think there's another. Oh, and finally on the corners, your boy, pending free agent, 27-year-old Crevion LeBlanc. Oh.
And when I've given up on you, Crevion, it's over.
I think it's definitely over. Sorry.
And I wanted him to compete for that nickel slot spot. I really did. And I can't say I'd be mad if they found a way to bring him back and let him compete for that nickel spot. But I just at this point he's becoming a veteran and like his minimums are going to be higher. And so I don't think they can bring him back.
All right. Moving on to safety, Marcus Epps.
Nice pick last night.
I think he returns solely because I don't think he's a pending free agent or anything. No,
right.
And I think he just stays. Rudy Ford.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Kevon Wallace, obviously he's staying.
Yeah.
Roddy McLeod, I would assume, is still staying.
Yeah.
Jalen Mills, pending free agent, making $4 bills. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Unless you want to come back for like mad cheap.
Yeah, we can't figure out if you're a corner or safety. You don't do either really that well, so I would think he's probably out.
Jonathan Ford.
Is he under contract still?
No, he is a pending free agent, so peace out. Blake Countess. I would assume we'll cut him and then re-sign him at some point next year.
Yeah, I would assume hasn't they done that like 10 times already?
17, I think it is.
Okay.
So we'll keep doing that. Let's see. Safeties. I had one more. Nope. No, that is it for safety. Okay. Okay, so there's your defensive back. And finally, special teams. Jake Elliott.
Well, I assume it would cost you too much to get rid of him.
Agreed.
So he's probably back.
Cameron Johnston. He is a pending free agent.
If you can find a cheaper punter, then see you.
All right. Well, he was only making $750, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then, I mean, if he'll come back for that, then.
Yeah, I'd be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
What about the last special teamer, Mr. Rick Lovato?
He's a good long snapper. Hasn't again.
Yeah, I mean, long snappers tend to stay.
Yeah.
With teams for a super long time.
So I'd assume he'll be back.
Yeah, I assume he'll be back. So.
It's only been 4 years, so yeah, he's got another.
So there you have it. Stay or go. Early edition.
Mad early edition.
Actually, my apologies. We have one more position to go.
Okay.
I forgot about this. Howie Roseman.
I would say go, but
Bye-bye.
yeah, but it's unfortunately not going to happen.
Not going to happen, right.
I was going to say, if this is a prediction
don't
or
let the door
desire.
hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah. Prediction stays. Desire, get that. Bleep
out. Let's see. Doug Peterson.
He'll stay.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone you could think of, because I'm not going to go over every coach and every position.
Well, obviously the defensive coordinator.
Right. Schwartz is obviously out. Do you see any other major changes?
I would like to see them. In fact, I think he might get pressure to add a real offensive coordinator.
Well, yeah, I fully agree, and I fully think that he needs to.
Yes, I agree that it'll. Yeah, I agree, and I support it.
Yeah, I support that as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so there you go. There is your stay and go edition, early edition of the show. We'll obviously go over this as free agency maybe hits a little closer. Depending on maybe there's already cuts happening. So lot going on in the off season. It's beautiful that it's very busy, more busy than probably any other sport, I would say.
No, absolutely. NFL off season is so much better than any other off season.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm very very excited and cautious and
sure
and scared and every other emotion.
Well, and we're here to guide all the others that will be scared and concerned throughout this whole off season.
Oh, no doubt. Knock knock, Eric.
Well, yeah, we've been going at it for over an hour and 7 minutes.
Wow, we have. Yeah. We've been super overtime. I guess that was the dinner knock.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get on out of here, I did actually want to show a quick little video. Let's see if I can bring it up. See if it'll allow me to. Okay, so I'm going to bring up this video of Giants coach Joe Judge on the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, well, we'll see this video and let's talk about it for a second, then we'll sign on off. Okay.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and play this video.
All right.
And let me make sure that this. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Sound wasn't working. Sweet. Let me fix that real quick. I think I muted it, and then I had to unmute it. Sorry. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Work in progress.
Obviously, players have asked me throughout the day, and I just can't express that. The one thing to keep in mind with this season is we had a lot of people opt in to this season. Okay? We had a lot of people opt in. All right? Coaches, players. That includes family members as well. All right? So to look at a group of grown men who I ask to give you effort on a day in, day out basis and empty the tank, and I can look them in the eye and assure them that I'm always going to do everything I can to put them in a competitive advantage and play them in a position of strength.
So this thing would stop glitching here. Sorry about that, everybody.
To me, you don't ever want to disrespect those players that are ever disrespect the game. The sacrifice that they made to come into work every day and test before coming in, sit in meetings spaced out, wear masks, have shields over those masks, go through extensive protocols, to travel in unconventional ways, to get text messages at 6:30 in the morning telling practice will be canceled. We have to go to a virtual day. Okay, to tell them, please don't have your family with for Thanksgiving. Please avoid Christmas gatherings. We know it's your wife's birthday. Let's make sure we put that one off for the all season. There's a number number of sacrifices have been made by all the. There's a number of sacrifices that come along as well with the family members and people connected to them. To disrespect the effort that everyone put forward to make this season a success for the National Football League, to disrespect the game by going out there and not competing for 60 minutes, doing everything you can to help those players win. We will never do that as long as I'm the head coach of the New York Giants.
Wow. Well said by Joe Judge. Sorry for the choppiness of that. I just pulled it up real quick. So, yeah, Joe Judge.
I think you saw what my reaction was.
Yeah, Joe Judge calling out the Eagles for their lack of 60 minutes. And to that, I say, well, maybe Evan Ingram should have caught that pass, and you'd be in the playoffs.
Yep. And last night means nothing, and most likely the Eagles and Washington play at 1, and they flex a different game in. So
Well, maybe they flexed that one.
yeah, maybe because then that would have been a win-in situation.
Right. So, yeah, agreed. Cry me a river. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, didn't the Eagles franchise? Didn't we do the exact same thing? Didn't we have plenty of guys who had to do the same thing?
Yeah, they all sacrificed. So I don't
Didn't all but 31 other teams do the same thing? Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Oh well. Whatever. All right. Well, since we are super over, and
and I'm probably in the doghouse.
Your wife's probably gonna murder you.
Yeah, probably.
So to avoid that, let's get on out of here.
Yeah.
We've been going at it for a little over an hour. So thank you, everybody who came and commented. Cheryl, David, Notoriety Sports. Speaking of Notoriety Sports, if you haven't seen the scroller down below, please make sure that you go and follow Notoriety Sports Network on all social media. We're on Twitter at Notoriety Sports, Instagram at Notoriety Sports, everywhere else at Notoriety Sports Network. Check us out if you're looking for breaking news, all information, all teams, up to the minute stuff. This is absolutely where you need to go. So check them out. We're the Phillyverse. We're a part of that. So you're supporting the Phillyverse when you support NSN. So there's NSN Philly. Don't forget that page. And then Notoriety Sports Network for basically all sports. So that's it for us. I will see you tomorrow at the Philly Barocast. And I got a little.
I think he's also saying you went over time.
Yeah, I think it's also this is my dinner bell.
Yeah.
So I will get on out of here. There's the green screen. Fantastic. All right, folks. Well, we will see you guys next week. We'll still be here. It doesn't matter if there's no Eagles or not. We'll still be talking Eagles. So we'll talk about some of the playoff games, obviously, and any other important updates that's happened over the past week that will affect the Eagles. So that's it for us. Eric, do you got anything to add before we get on out of here?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Keeping the streak alive. I love it. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next week. So for the Football Smack Talk show, I am Ryan.
I'm Eric. Happy football, everybody. Only 250 days to go till the next Eagles game.
Wow. That's a long time, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm saddened. But
Well, you always react that way. This, the first time I have to bring it up.
right.
And then when we get closer and you're just like, oh, wow.
I'm sure it's under 100 days. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll make it through it, people. Don't worry. Yeah. We'll make it through it. So, all right, everybody, have a great rest of the week. I will see you tomorrow. You'll see Eric Wednesday on Mike Sports at 8 o'clock, only on the Phillyverse and NSN. We'll see ya. Have a good week. Later.